certain wellness practices that you can then use in your everyday life. It's not like a retreat that you go to for 3 days and then forget all about, all the amazing experiences you had. It's something that you want to do in your home, in the comfort of your own space. Starting out, we have Anshuka, a very inspiring yoga instructor. She actually met with an accident, and that's the time when she took up yoga. And she's been teaching since. She has a lot of her emphasis is essentially on breath work and going deep into the asanas and really getting in touch with your breath. Following that, we're going to have Shayamal, who's going to take you through a really fun exercise on how to find your flow and alignment in life so that you can really tap into your own true power and excel in the world at whatever it is that you do. Lastly, there's Nadia and I, where we'll be taking you through a really fun DIY session on how to blend your own beauty milks. So one drink that you can drink every day for your radiance and glow, which is easy to put together. And then after that, we have about 1 hour for you to interact with all the amazing brands outside. We have Soul Tree, which is a natural skincare line. We have Oraya Ayurveda, which takes Vedic traditional recipes and converts them into modern skincare for all of you. We have Mahamala that makes really amazing crystal healing jewelry, beads, malas, really beautiful stuff. We have Spiritual Warrior. Spiritual Warrior makes sustainable yoga accessories. So blocks, mats, this mat right here is Shakti Warrior, sorry, they've changed their name. And there's All to Defy, which makes really nice streetwear. So we'd like you to connect with all these brands. And of course, Antidote. But yeah, over to Anshuka, who is now going to take you through this Detox Flow session.
Firstly, good morning, and thank you, Mandira, and the whole team for having me. I'm very, very excited. If anyone's still wearing their shoes or their socks, now's a good time to remove it all, put it at the side, make sure all your phones are on silent, put it into that bag, and just keep it away for just 1 hour. Spine tall, no slouchy shoulders. And let's just think about that one thing that we all have that is common here. And no, that's not the shutting of the eyes or the phone away, it's your breath. So just stay with your breath. Why is breath important? We work with natural and regulated breath. So your natural breath is what you've been doing since you've been born. Just breathing, not being conscious, versus regulated breath, which is conscious breathing. We only use 1/16 of our lung capacity, just 1/16. Think about your chest and your heart opening up towards me as you inhale. Feel your chest expand as you inhale. Each inhalation activates your sympathetic nervous system, which is your ability for fight or flight and activation. And each exhalation is about resting, about digestion, about relaxing. Most of our ailments, most of our diseases occur when our inhalation and our exhalation is out of balance. Something as small as your breath can control your life. Let's work with a 1:1 ratio now. So if you inhale for about 3 seconds, I want you to exhale over 3 seconds. Inhale for about 3 seconds and exhale for 3 seconds. If your breath is shorter, if it's shallower, that's fine. Just stay with that 1:1 ratio, inhalation to your exhalation. Just breathe through that uneasiness. Breathe, focus, tune in. Some of you might find it hard. And now we're going to work with something called the cleansing breath. This is a practice that you can use every day for a few minutes. Keeping your eyes closed. What is the cleansing breath? A cleansing breath is when you actively inhale, a regulated inhalation and an effortless exhalation. So it sounds more like so very effortlessly exhaling, but you're consciously inhaling. It's like a sigh of relief. When that lump in your throat is just dissolving, when you're anxious about something and it finally happens. So regulated inhalation and an active and an effortless exhalation. And go back to regular breathing, regulated this time. So focusing on your breath. If you're slightly uncomfortable, you can switch where you're sitting from a cross leg to a Vajrasana. If you don't know what a Vajrasana is, you can open your eyes and see what I'm doing. If you're still comfortable in your cross leg, continue staying there. And now we're going to do a tiny exercise called the 4D exercise. This is one of the most basic breath drills that I do with a lot of people that are trying to get into breath work because it's so hard to even just focus for a few minutes. Like I'm seeing so many people blink their eyes, shifting, a lot of things, especially if you don't have a meditative practice, it gets very hard to just stay still. So let's just try to go through this. Even if you're lost somewhere and your thoughts get scattered, just try to come back as soon as you can. I'm not going to ask you to block your thoughts because that's impossible, but just don't hold on to it. So if you're thinking of maybe your Saturday night plan, just don't hold on to it. Try to come back as soon as you can. So let's all of us close our eyes. And for those who've just come in, just find space. And let's begin. Just stay with your inhalation. You want to inhale from your nostrils, throat, your chest, stomach, all the way till that tailbone. And as you exhale, you want to release from your stomach, your chest, your throat, and then your nostrils. Inhaling all the way into that stomach, blow it up. And exhaling, let it release. Find growth with your inhalation, expand. And exhale to release. And now just let's go through our physical body. Just focus on where you feel stress, where you feel tension. Maybe it's your shoulders, or your neck, or your ankles. Just observe. Maybe it's your spine. Any physical kinks. And if you can't sit comfortably with a straight spine today, for just about a few minutes, this is something that you should do every day, a little more each time. And now tap into your emotional body. What are you feeling? Are you feeling distracted, anxious, angry, irritated? Think about what emotion you're feeling. Think about your entire week. Now let's try to tap into your mental body. Think about where you are right now. What do you want more? Do you have any roadblocks? Is there something that you want to achieve? Think about what's restricting you. And just listen to yourself. And finally, just think of your spiritual body is your soul. Of course, there's nothing material to relate that to. So just focus on your presence, focus on your breath, focus on you being here, focus on you having that life force to breathe. And you're just really being your own doctor. This is very similar to you visiting a doctor who's going to ask you what's going on with you for your symptoms to draw that conclusion. Instead, ask yourself what's going on, tune in, and listen. Your body is constantly telling you, but you have to halt, you have to pause, and you have to listen. Now for the next 1 minute, we are going to go into Kapalbhati, that is the fire breath, and we're going to release everything unwanted from every part of our body. Anyone on their period should avoid this. Those who don't know how to do this, you can open your eyes. For those who know it, just stay still. For those who don't know, take your right palm and place it above your belly button. Take your left index finger and place it underneath your nostrils. So when your stomach is drawn in, that's when you want to exhale. So it looks like And when you feel like you mastered the rhythm, just close your eyes and continue doing it. And slightly faster, building that rhythm. And if you want to place your hands on your knees, you can also do that. And again, those on their period, you must completely avoid this. So just close your eyes, stay with your breathing. And you really want to churn from your stomach. Draw in your belly button as close to your spine as you can. Draw in and churn. Just have 30 seconds to go. And as powerful as you can, releasing all that stress from your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual body. Exhaling, throwing it all out, detoxifying you. Just 10 seconds together, keep churning and churning. And slowly come back to a cleansing breath, activated, regulated inhalation, effortless exhalation. Breathe that sigh of relief. And just come back to normal, natural breathing. Let your body breathe as it would naturally do and just observe. And think about that lung capacity I was talking about. 1/16 of our lung capacity. The only way to improve it is through regulated breathing. So just observe what your body is doing. Inhaling through your nostrils, exhaling through your nostrils. Try to breathe through your nostrils as much as you can. Let's not confuse our body. We are working on the respiratory system. When we start using our mouth, it gets confused with the digestive system. So just focus on your respiratory system as much as you can. And just staying with that breath, keeping that tuned in breath. Let's slowly open our eyes and come onto your fours, where you place your shoulders above your wrists and your hips above your knees. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. From here, I want you to tuck your toes in. So flex your toes. Push your belly button to the ground and open up your chest. Take your neck up, take your chin up to an inhalation. And as you exhale, notch into your chest, round your back and extend your toes. Again, tuck your toes in, big inhalation, expanding your chest forward. And as you exhale, round your back, really draw in that belly button as much as you can and exhale. Let's do that 3 more times. Tuck your toes in, chin up as you inhale. Your cow, shoulders down, elbows straight. And as you exhale, you want to round your back, create that big alphabet C in your spine and extend your toes. Try to breathe only through your nostrils. 2 more times. Inhale to look up, opening up your chest forward, pushing that belly button to the ground. And as you exhale, round that back, draw in that belly button like an angry cat. And just 1 more time, tuck your toes in. Inhale. And as you exhale, round your back, and extend your toes. And just keep that rounding and just breathe there. Inhale and exhale, 5. Inhale and exhale, 4. Inhale and exhale, 3. Inhale and exhale, 2. And keeping the rounded spine, I want you to tuck your toes in now and lift your knees very close to the ground. Very close to the ground, and stay. Inhale and exhale, 10. For those whose wrists start hurting, just drop your knees. Inhale and exhale, 9. Keep your knees as close to the ground as you can. Keep that back rounded. Inhale and exhale, 6. Inhale and exhale, 5. Palms straight. Inhale and exhale, 4. Inhale and exhale, 3. Inhale and exhale, 2. Inhale and exhale, gently drop your knees down. Now from here, you want to take your right palm, like you're almost saluting to the right, and open up. And as you exhale, you want to thread the needle. Take your hand all the way down and drop your right ear. Again, inhale to open up your chest to the side, and exhale to go through your hand and drop your ear. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale to salute, and exhale to go through like you're threading a needle. 2 more times. Inhale to open up, and exhale to go through. 1 last time. Inhale to open up. We're still breathing through our nostril, guys, and exhale through your nostrils and drop your ear, drop your hand, and continue staying there. So drop your right ear. For those who find this comfortable, take that left hand at the back and try to grab the right inner thigh. Lovely. So what we're trying to do is open up the right shoulder and open up the spine. So keep pushing your left shoulder up to the ceiling and keep breathing. 5 and 4 and 3. 2 more, and slowly come back, and we'll repeat this to the opposite side. So let's use our left hand, left open to salute, and then go through. And drop your left ear, and open up, inhale, and exhale to go through, and inhale, and exhale to go through. 2 more times. Inhale, exhale to go through. Look that side. Drop your left ear. 1 last time. Inhale, and exhale to go through, and drop. Inhale and exhale, and slowly come back. Onto your 4s again, and this time we're going to create the figure of 8. So you're going to make that first round circle at the top, and then with your lower body, you're going to push your glutes back to make the below circle. So forward over your wrists, and then with your hips. Nice. Close your eyes, just visualize what you're doing. Warm up those wrists. And let's come back. From here, keeping your hips over your knees, my lower body doesn't move. I want you to walk forward, and drop your forehead. Let's get rid of those phones for this 1 hour. Try to keep your elbows off. Feel those shoulders opening up. Feel your spine opening up. Keep pushing your tailbone to the back of the room. Your body is constantly getting detoxified. But certain asanas, certain postures just accelerates that detoxification. Massaging your spine, increasing range of motion, increases that blood circulation on a cellular level to really throw out all the toxins. For those who are comfortable with your forehead on the ground, try to switch to your chin on the ground this time. Put your chin on the ground. And feel that shoulder, feel that band around the shoulder really opening up. For those who can't, just come back to your forehead. That's lovely, and slowly walk back. And this time we'll raise our knees and we'll go into a downward dog. So raise your knees and let's get into a downward dog. Keep looking at your belly button. At your belly button. Take 2 tiny steps in. You want to feel your heels touch the floor, touch the ground. And let's start marching. So raise one heel and then raise the opposite heel. Raise one heel and then the opposite heel. Like you're going on your tiptoes, like you're trotting. One heel slowly and then the opposite. And then one and then the opposite. And now let's place both our heels on the ground. Keep looking at your belly button. And together I want you to move your heels to the right side. So move it to your right side, both your heels, and look to the left. Feel that spine twist. Feel your shoulders. Let's stay here for a few breaths. Try to look underneath your armpit. Lift your hips up. Look underneath your armpit. Inhale and exhale, 5. Knees straight as much as you can, and 4. Last 3, for those whose wrists are hurting, you can drop till your elbows, or just drop down and relax. 2 more. And let's switch sides. Take your heels now to the left side. And look underneath your right armpit. And twist as much as you can. And 5, 4, that's lovely. And last 3, 2 more. And 1 last. Slowly come back to the center and drop your knees and go into a child's pose, Balasana. in your balasana, you can open up your knees to create a V and let your stomach fall down. And keep reaching forward. So it's still active. Your fingertips towards me and your tailbone to the back of the room. So you're constantly lengthening your spine. Fingertips towards me, tailbone to the back of the room. You're still sitting, your hips are not elevated. Keep breathing. And for those who've come in late, if anybody has any injuries, ailments, you can just tell 2 of the girls that are walking around. And just be mindful, even if you don't have an injury, if today some part of your body is stiff or feels stressed out, just give it a break, it's okay. And then slowly come up. Raise your knees one last time to a downward dog. This time we are going to stay in the downward dog, look forward, we're going to bend our knees and we're going to land into a malasana. If you don't want to jump forward, that's fine. You can take one leg first in a lunge and then the second. Really nice. And for those who can't drop your heels down, you might need back support from the wall. So if anybody is on their toes, if you don't have enough mobility in your ankles, just use the wall. So elbows inside, keep opening up the knees in an inhalation with your spine erect, and as you exhale, you want to push that pelvic floor forward. So push your pelvis forward as you exhale. We're going to stay here for 5 more breaths. Inhale and exhale 5. Inhale and exhale 4. We carry most of our stress in our hips, most of our emotions in our hips and not in our neck or our shoulders. So if you're very uncomfortable, just go back and tune in again to that, what's going on. Inhale, spine tall. Exhale, push that pelvic floor forward. If you're on your toes, you can drop your hands at the back for support to drop your heels. You might feel slight tension if you're not used to doing this. And for those who are mothers or who are becoming, who want to have children, this is such a good posture to do. Most prenatal classes, most Lamaze classes have you sitting here. So it's a good idea to always have your hips open. There's a lot of blood circulation around those reproductive organs, keeping everything healthy. Just 2 more breaths, and when you feel pain, you can just smile. So if I see the whole room smiling, we'll drop the heels. 2 more breaths here. And if you're comfortable sitting here, stay here. And for those who are not, can sit in a cross leg. And now we have a room full of ladies. Let me ask you all, do you all practice exercising your Kegels? Yes, no, maybe so? Okay, who doesn't? Who doesn't? With a show of hands. Okay, who doesn't know what their Kegels are? Put your hands up. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's work on it. Let's sit in a cross leg, everybody. Okay, so think of your Kegel muscle. If I gave you like 5 gallons of water right now, and I asked you to wait in a washroom line for 10 minutes, and you were really holding onto that bladder, that's the muscle that you would be using. Yes? Okay. So what you need to do is, you need to squeeze in and activate. So I'm inhaling. It's not squeezing in my stomach. I'm not squeezing my stomach. I'm trying to lift my Kegel. So I want you to squeeze in. Do you all feel that contraction? Yes, no? Okay. Does anyone feel their glutes getting squeezed in? So you can actually touch your bum. Take both your hands. It's your body. Touch it. Who feels it squeezed in? Show me by hands. Show of hands. Okay, that's extremely incorrect, okay? So so it's very, Sorry? Yes, slightly below that. So, how do we do this? Okay, now I want you to lean forward, and now squeeze it in, and now touch your glutes. Do you feel like it's slightly better, like you're not activating, your butt cheeks are not getting squeezed in? Yes, no, yes, okay. So that is your Kegel. It's a really hard muscle to first, sort of find in your body, especially when we haven't used it, especially for women that have already been mothers. It's slightly harder if you haven't practiced. So the best way to practice is when you do use the washroom, and hopefully if you hydrate enough, you go to the washroom enough, right? So when you sit on that pot, what I want you to do is think of the commode as a clock. So I want you to hold on to it, slightly release. Again, hold on to it, slightly release. Think of you in a really, really bad, Bombay has really horrible, washroom sometimes. So you know when you're in mid-air squatting and you're going around, not aiming in the water, that's your Kegel muscle. That is so important for everyone here. It's so important. 80% of women today under the age of 25 suffer from PCOS, PCOD, and then just keeps getting worse as you progress with age. And especially after you've given birth, that muscle gets lax. So that's the only way to tighten it. And this is what you should do every single day. Like I could be having a conversation with someone and working my Kegels. I could be driving somewhere and working it. So it's very, very important to host a healthy baby. Sometimes you're told by a doctor that she couldn't hold the baby in. That's why there was a miscarriage. Sometimes it's also because this muscle is very, very lax. So it's very, very important to keep this working. Blood circulation, number one. Blood circulation takes all your nutrients to that area, so it's going to be really healthy. You're going to have a very, very healthy sexual life after that because the muscle is working. It's like working a bicep. You have to work it. You just can't leave it loose and lax. So please, let's practice this together. And if you have any questions, you can ask me later. So just close your eyes. Anyone on their period, I'm sorry, again, don't practice it today. Because on your period, all your energy is releasing to the ground, towards gravity, and you don't want to work against that. So let's close our eyes. If you have to lean forward to activate it, we can do that. Close your eyes, and let's go. We'll only do it 5 times. I want you to inhale and squeeze in, contract, and hold that. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release and exhale. Again, inhale deep, squeeze in like a vacuum, lifting from level 0 to level 4. Squeeze in and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. 3 more times. Now let's do it in increments. So let's inhale, contract slightly, a little more, and completely, and hold that. 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. 2 more times. This time we're going to inhale in increments and exhale in increments. So contract little, a little more, the maximum. Now when we release, we'll release a little more, and then release completely. Let's do this one time. I want everyone's eyes shut and just focus on activating that. If you have to go forward, you can actually touch your butt cheeks. That's actually an important exercise. You don't want to be clenching on your glutes. You're working the wrong muscle, right? So just focus on what you're doing. Just stay with your breath that one last time. Inhale, contract, contract, contract. And then when you're ready, you can exhale. Lovely. And let's go back into your Malasana. And then place your palms down, push your bums up, and come back up into a Namaskar. Come to the head of the mat, feet together. And we're going to go into a few Surya Namaskars. If anyone has any pain, just be mindful about what you're doing. Inhale to stretch up, reach towards the ceiling, draw on your belly button. As you exhale, palms open, lead with your chest, flat back, and then go down and grab your ankles and pull yourself in. Step your right leg back, inhale into a lunge. Right leg back, inhale into a lunge. From here, I don't want anyone's knee crossing their toe. Perfect. Left palm flat, open up your right. Feel that twist in your spine. The more you twist, the more you detox, and stay. Inhale and exhale 5, like you're wringing a towel. So think of you wringing yourself for all those toxins. Inhale and exhale 4. Inhale and exhale 3. Take your heel forward. Knee shouldn't cross your toe. Inhale and exhale, 1 last, and slowly come back. Now we'll step that left leg back into a plank. High plank for 5 breaths. Inhale and exhale 5. I don't want anyone's hips dropping down. High plank. Inhale and exhale 4. Keep looking forward. Keep looking at the edge of your mat. Inhale and exhale 3. Anyone who feels pain on their wrists, you can drop till your forearms. 1 last, and drop your knees here. Keep your glutes up, keep your hips up, bend into your elbows, and drop your chest and chin. Now push into the ground. Inhale, come up, extend your toes. Now no slouchy shoulders, smiling collarbones towards me. Nice. And raise your hips into a downward dog. Step that right leg forward. Inhale into a lunge. You want that right foot all the way forward in one line with your palms, and open up to your left hand. And stay there. Inhale and exhale 5. Inhale and exhale 4. Inhale and exhale 3. Inhale and exhale 2. Inhale and exhale, bring it back. And step your left leg forward. And grab opposite elbows and just move around, move around. 5, keep moving your elbows side to side. 4, 3, 2, come to the center, curl your back, and slowly come up. Namaskar. That's 1. We're just doing 4 more. Inhale to reach up to the ceiling. Reach, raise your diaphragm, create space. As you exhale, hands from the side. Flat back as you go forward. Grab your ankles, pull yourself in. Now take your left leg back into an inhalation. Again, lunge. And come up and interlock your fingers behind your back. Staying in that lunge, strong ladies, open up your chest and exhale, go down to the left side, raising your hands up, your humble warrior. Inhale, exhale 5. Raise your hands up as much as you can. Inhale and exhale 4. Raise your hands up. Go to your left side a little more. Inhale and exhale 3. Inhale and exhale 2. Inhale and exhale, drop your palms down. Step your right leg back into a plank. Again, we'll stay there for 5 strong breaths. Inhale, exhale 5. Inhale and exhale 4. Remember, shoulders over wrists. No dropping your hips. Inhale and exhale 3. You're not in a downward dog, you're on a plank. Inhale and exhale 2. Inhale and exhale, drop your knees, chest and chin, keeping your hips up high, glutes up, elbows up. And inhale, come up into a Bhujangasana, extend your toes at the back. Shoulders down. And exhale, raise your hips into a downward dog. 2 tiny steps in, push into your heels. Step your left leg forward, inhale. And this time again, interlock your fingers behind your back. Open up your chest on an inhalation and go down to the right on an exhalation. And take your hands up. Inhale and exhale, 5. Inhale and exhale, 4. Inhale and exhale, 3. Inhale and exhale, 2. Inhale and exhale, drop your palms down. Step your right leg forward to touch your toes. This time staying there with your knees straight, interlock your fingers behind your back and take it all the way forward. All the way forward like you want to get it in front of your face touching the ground. Inhale, exhale, 5. Inhale, exhale, 4. Inhale and exhale, 3. Watch how your hips have a tendency to go behind your ankles. Try to keep your hips over those ankles in one straight line. Inhale and exhale, 2 more. Inhale, exhale, 1 last. Inhale, come up all the way into a namaskar. That's 2. We just have 3 more to go. Inhale from the side, reach up to the ceiling. Okay, I'm going to go very easy on this one. Okay, inhale up. And exhale, forward fold. Step your right leg back. Inhale into a lunge. Now let's drop our knee and extend our toes. Drop your knee, extend your toes. Take your right hand up, but don't come up. Keep that hip down. Right hand up. I don't want anyone's knee crossing their toes, so this is not a good angle. Okay? From here, go to the left side, watch what I'm doing, and make a namaste behind. So we are quite rested, we are just twisting, and for those who want that extra challenge, you can raise the back leg into a lunge. That was originally what we were going to do. If you need that break, that's fine. Inhale and exhale, 5. Just focus, focus, focus. You will fall if you don't focus. Inhale and exhale, 4. Inhale and exhale, 3. Inhale and exhale, 2. Inhale and exhale and bring it back. And now let's switch. Take your left leg back into a plank. We're not going to stop here. Drop your knees. From here, bend into your elbows, chest and chin. Inhale to come up. Push your shoulders down. No slouchy shoulders. Exhale into a downward dog. Raise your hips. 2 tiny steps in. Push into your heels. Step your right leg forward again into a lunge. Drop that back knee. Drop the back knee and the same thing to the right side. So you're going to twist. If you want a challenge, lift the leg at the back. Inhale and exhale, 5. For those who feel any knee pain and you're getting hurt with this knee bend, just avoid it. Inhale and exhale, 4. And 3. 2 more. And gently drop your palms down. Get your left leg forward to touch your toes. And round your back and slowly come up with a namaskar. Just 1 last, we're not even doing 5. We've cut it down to 4. Let's all get the perfect posture. Inhale up to raise your hands up to the ceiling. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. We're going to go around in correct postures. Palms together in a namaste. Elbows straight. No interlocking fingers. A namaste is never with interlocked fingers. It's with palms together. Elbows straight. Keep raising that diaphragm. Keep tucking your pelvis in like a Michael Jackson tuck. So push that pubic bone in. You'll feel your lower abdominals active. That's lovely. Now to go forward, open up your hands, push your chest forward. Just focus on your alignment. Focus, and at one point, if you're not flexible enough, you'll have to round your back. So it's fine if you round your back. Grab your ankles and pull yourself in. Pull. It's very active. And just keep breathing there. We're just using this to stretch out. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Now step your left leg back into a lunge. Left leg back into a lunge. So from here, you want your right hand, both your palms and your right foot to be in one straight line. So just correct yourself. palms straight, and your back knee is lifted. That's your lunge. So if your knee is crossing your toe, that's incorrect. Okay, from here, right leg back into a plank. Plank is where so many people go wrong. So no hips high, no sinking down, just in one line, like a 45-degree. Now drop your knees, and watch what I'm doing. Bend into your elbows and drop your chin forward. Nice. And a Bhujangasana, push into your palms, come up. And is this right what I'm doing? No, because I have slouchy shoulders. Create space between your ears and your shoulders. You're always creating space. Nice. And raise your hips into a downward dog. If you're inflexible, you can keep your knees bent here, that's fine, but keep pushing your chest towards your thighs. And 2 baby steps in. If you're flexible enough, ideally your heels should be down, your tailbone should be pointing towards the ceiling, like a peak of a mountain. Now let's take our left leg forward, all the way forward in one line with your palms. So if you're stuck halfway, take your left palm, lift with your ankle and take it forward in one line with your palms. If your knee crosses your toe, that's when you start getting injuries in your knee and your lower back. Perfect, and right leg forward. And just keep breathing. The good news is that you're done with Surya Namaskars. Just keep breathing. Forward folds are the easiest because you're just staying there and gravity is doing all its work. You don't have to push yourself. It's assisting you so much. It's almost drawing you into the ground. And then slowly come back into a Namaskar. Let's just close our eyes a few more seconds. Keeping your eyes closed, sit down in a cross leg and go into a butterfly. So your butterfly is your namaste with your feet. And if you're inflexible, you're here, just flap. Again, watch how my lower back always tends to slouch in a butterfly. So if you're practicing this, and if you're watching TV and you want to do this, just sit with support for your back. And you always want to be tailbone heavy. When I say tailbone heavy, I mean you want to sit on your sit bones. Do we all know what our sit bones are? The bony part of your glute. So that's what you want to sit on and sit up tall. Okay? Let's close our eyes, use this as a mini break, and just breathe. Again, come back to that awareness of your breath. Because you're pushing yourself, your heart rate has gone higher, you might start breathing more shallow. So let's just try to focus on that breath. Expanding your chest forward towards me, no slouchy shoulders. Keep breathing. We have about 30 seconds to go. Keep breathing, spine tall. And smile. You've come here out of your own choice. You've woken up on this Saturday morning to just feel better. So just use this. Have fun with it. It's fine if you're going through pain. Just breathe through it. But the idea is, even if you don't have a yoga practice, to take something back from this class, so you can actually practice on your own without needing assistance. So just focus on your alignment, because alignment is very important. Visualize your knees touching the ground. And just stay. And keep breathing. If you feel any pain again, you can stop. But differentiate between pain and just not pushing yourself. Good versus bad pain. And from here, bend your knees. Let's bend both our knees. For those who have a back problem, just drop to your elbows from now. The others, hands by the side. Let's lean back thump your chest up, thump, literally thump your chest out, and raise one knee and then the opposite. Okay? If you feel pressure on your spine, then just drop your elbows. You're here, and only if you're comfortable, straighten out your knees. If you have the strength. If not, just stay here. You're still benefiting. Naukasana, the boat pose. Inhale and exhale, 5. Let's stay. Inhale and exhale, 4. Nostril breathing, guys. Inhale and exhale, 3. Point your toes. Inhale and exhale, 2. Inhale and exhale, and try to keep your heels off, curl your back and hold this. If not, you can rest. But if you have a practice or you want to challenge yourself, you're comfortable, keep your heels off the floor. We're going to do this 2 more times. We've done with 1 round. The second round, again, palms by the side. Again, this is called your tabletop. If you're ready, straighten out your knees. If not, stay here. Inhale and exhale, point your toes. 5. Inhale and exhale, 4. Don't move your neck side to side. Keep breathing, that's very important. Inhale and exhale, 3. Inhale and exhale, nostril breathing. Inhale and exhale, and cross and hold. We just have 1 more time to go. Breathe, stay. You're earning your cheat meal, so let's do this. And hands by the side, and 1 last time. And inhale and exhale, try to straighten out your knees, stay with your breathing, 5. Very powerful nostril breathing. Inhale and exhale, 4. Inhale and exhale, 3. Inhale and exhale, 2. Just 10 more breaths. And slowly bend your knees. And from here, hands by the side, curl your back. Curl, curl. From your lower vertebrae all the way up, I want you to drop 1 vertebrae at a time. If you are putting on a band-aid, very slowly, that's how you want to put your spine down, like you're, imagine peeling a band-aid off very slowly and then putting it back on. That's your spine. Very slowly, be careful of your head. And slowly go down. Bend both your knees and hug your knees. And we're going to stay here for 2 minutes. Shoulders down, bend your knees, hug your knees. Head down, close your eyes. Pavan Muktasana. For those who feel a lot of indigestion, if you have a lot of acidity, this is something that you should practice every morning. 2 to 3 minutes, just when you wake up, it releases all your unwanted gas. It actually helps to de-bloat you. If you feel like you wake up bloated, this is one of the things you should do. Just keep breathing. We're going to take a minute more. Shoulders down. Feel all that pressure on your abdominal cavity. Head down. We have about 30 seconds to go. Just keep breathing. Just get comfortable. But make sure you're actively pulling it into your stomach. You're actively creating that pressure. You're massaging your organs. And now we're going to go into a shoulder stand. Again, if you have your period, you should avoid this. For those who've never done a shoulder stand before, today is not a good idea to start. So continue staying in Pavan Muktasana. So from here, you're going to raise your knees and you're going to push your toes up to the ceiling. And watch how I'm walking my elbows in to push up straight. My drishti, my focus, is my big toes. And it's called a shoulder stand because you're putting all your pressure on your shoulders. Elbows slightly in, close to each other. You want to feel that constriction in your throat, guys. That's where your thyroid gland is situated. That's what you're trying to massage. Elbows closer to each other, taking all your weight onto your shoulders, on your forearms, till your elbows. Don't move your neck side to side. You might hurt yourself. Focus. Drishti is on your big toes. And if you're comfortable here, we'll go into a halasana where we drop our toes at the back of our head. Very slowly. If you need assistance, just stop. We'll come by. If you have it in your practice, continue doing it. If you want to try, you can go down halfway, but make sure you're going down in a controlled descent. And don't come down with a bang. Again, when you come down, you want to drop one vertebrae at a time. So just stay there. Keep breathing. And let's support our lower back stronger. Again, take your toes up to the ceiling in that shoulder stand. I want everybody to do that shoulder stand who is attempting it. And then we'll come down together. Now start dropping, curl your back, create a C curve in your spine. So draw your belly button in. So you know you're dropping one vertebrae down at a time. I don't want you to come smashing down on your spine. You can injure yourself. So be very careful. Drop one vertebrae at a time. One vertebrae at a time. Once you come down halfway, I want legs up, perpendicular, 90 degrees. Everyone, legs up. Lie down, legs up. Legs up. Come on, come on. Last 5. So drop your hips, knees straight, pull up your knees. Flex your toes towards you. Slowly come down. Come down till here. Drop slow, slow, slow. Keep your knees straight. Come down slowly. Slow. Curl your back. Curl your back. And drop your shoulders down. And slowly start traveling and come down. Let's place our hands at the side in a T. Bend both your knees. Now everybody drop your knees to your right side, to your right, and look to your left. So we don't smash into each other. Close your eyes, you're just twisting your spine. Keep breathing, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring into the center. Again, take your knees towards your chest. Now drop it to the left. Drop your knees to the left, look to the right. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And finally, turn completely to your left side and sleep on your stomach, head facing me. And we'll go into a makrasana. This is something everybody usually can do with ease. So you're flat down, and then you'll place your palms on your cheeks. Again, no slouchy shoulders. I want you to lift your shoulders. When you lift your shoulders, you'll watch your lower back get stretched a little more. Yes, no, maybe so, yes. Only if you want to go for that extra stretch, you can lift. You'll also feel your upper abdominal stretch here. If you don't want to, okay, lovely. So for those who are doing it, no slouchy shoulders again, shoulders down. You're lifting. You're always lifting. You're lengthening, you're stretching. Just remember, with yoga, it's very important. The second you feel like you're lowering towards gravity, you're not doing it right. You're always lifting. Who's feeling the upper abdominal stretch? Mm-hmm. And let's go back to makrasana. Just close your eyes. Stay with your breath. I feel like I've tortured some of you all, so smile. And keeping your eyes closed, just flip onto your back. Close your eyes, flip onto your back. Open up your legs wide. Open up your palms away from your body, facing the ceiling. Close your eyes. Open up your legs. Palms away from you, facing the ceiling. And again, come back to your breath. You're going to inhale, and as you exhale, I want you to melt into the ground. So you just want to release. You want to let go. We're consciously relaxing, but we're not sleeping. Let the back of your head sink into the ground. Let your shoulders sink into the ground. Let your upper, mid, and lower back sink into the ground. Let your hips sink into the ground. Let your hamstrings, your thighs, the back of your knees, your calves sink into the ground. Let your calves, your ankles sink into the ground. Feel your chest expand as you inhale. Feel it sink in as you exhale. Feel your chest expand as you inhale. Feel your chest sink in as you exhale. As you exhale, just melt into the ground. Just sink into the ground. Just focus on your breath. Focus on your chest expanding as you inhale, sink in as you exhale. You're completely relaxing. With each exhalation, let all that tiredness go away. Again, breathing in activation, exhaling relaxation. Breathing in activation, exhaling to relaxation. Just stay with your breathing. And now, keeping your eyes closed, I want you to turn onto your left side, create a pillow with your left hand. So you can bend both your knees, everybody turn to their left side like you're curled up on a bed, and just continue staying there, relaxing as you breathe. Re-energizing yourself with an inhalation. You can draw in your knees towards your chest. That's like a little cocoon pose. The cocoon is very similar to what you would do, what you were doing in your mother's womb. So just stay with your breath. restoring yourself with each breath, feeling that protection that you felt when you were a little baby. We're going to keep our eyes closed again, and you're going to sit up straight in any cross-leg posture, keeping your eyes closed. And palms on your knees, rolling your shoulders back. We're going to chant Om 3 times. If you're not comfortable chanting Om, just stay with your breath. For those who are comfortable chanting Om, let's chant together. Inhale, and on your exhalation. Keep your eyes closed. Join your palms. You want to rub your palms until they are warm. You want to cup your eyes and look down very gently. You want to cup your eyes with your palms and not your fingers. Keep your eyes closed and then slowly move your palms away. Continue keeping your eyes closed. And I want you to bend both your knees and give yourself a big hug. You can give each knee a little kiss. And then slowly open your eyes. And then slowly come up. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Anshuka. That was quite energizing, I suppose. We have a 15-minute break. You want to get a tea, coffee, juice. And then we're going to begin with Shayamal's session on finding your alignment and flow. Okay, a really quick 5-minute break. Just someone who, anyone who wants to go get some water, use the washroom, and then we come back for Shayamal's session.
But they are very good. I enjoy bar sometimes. A lot of people asked me how I started practicing and why I started practicing. So quickly, shut the doors. People asked me why I started doing what I do. So I thought I'd just share it collectively. I used to be a pilot with the airlines. I was with Jet Airways, so I'm actually very happy right now with what's going on with Jet. But I'm just kidding. So after I got into the airlines, I got into a very bad, near-fatal bike accident, which really transformed my life. Teaching yoga and practicing was never an ambition growing up, and I never ever practiced it actually. But after my accident is when I started seeing the transformation and the healing within. So going from the airlines to becoming a yoga / wellness expert expert teacher is a big transition. And honestly, when you practice more consistently, it really comes to you. So I just wanted to share that because a lot of people ask me where, why, etc. And then of course I went ahead and did a lot of different certifications. But I still feel that even having an MSc in yoga, I just learn more every day the more I practice. I tend to tune in a little more, I tend to meditate a little more. And now let me introduce to you my dear friend, the person who all the athletes swear by, like Mahesh Bhupati, Kings 11 Punjab, the Indian cricket team, the South African cricket team, and athletes that I don't remember names of. A motivational speaker who I'm very lucky to have as my friend because he inspires and motivates me every day. And the amazing life hacks that he can actually share. I hope you guys take it with you, practice it. So, Shayamal, here's the mic.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. I think I'll have to sit because everyone's looking so calm today. So, it's the first time that I'll be sitting and talking. I'm normally very busy everywhere. Thank you, Mandira. Thank you to Carol, Nadia for having me. Thank you, everyone, for coming and listening to me. How many people in the room have attended any session of mine previously? So, just so I know. One on Instagram. Okay, that counts. Okay, super. So I just know how to structure everything. So where do I start? Hello? A little louder? A little louder. I'm not very good at screaming. I used to scream at athletes for 20 years and then I stopped. Okay, so let me try to find out you all know a little bit about me, so I need to know a little bit about you. Okay, so everyone, hands apart. Okay, good. Put them together. Clutch them. Good. Now look at your hands. How many of you have your right thumb on top of your left? Hands up. Okay. So you are in the top 50% of the most beautiful people on earth. Okay. And how many of you, and those who have it the other way around, you're in the top 50% of the most intellectual people on earth. So, so I'm in trouble. Either way. Okay. Amazing. Okay. And we posted a video the other day. I'm not sure if anyone tried this. Why don't you try this? Hands together. Clutch them. Okay. Now extend these two fingers. Okay. Keep them apart. Look at them. Now listen to me. Your fingers are going to touch. Okay. Good. Your fingers are going to touch. Interesting. Super. Okay. Some of you would have felt that it touched, would have seen that. Some of you would have found it extremely difficult to keep them apart. Okay. That is a very mild form of hypnosis. That is actually the power. Sorry? They can't hear me at the back. Come up, come closer. Let's make it a little intimate. Can I change it? Okay. I won't, fine. I'm fine. I prefer this because I use my hands a lot. Do you want me to try to put it up a little bit? Okay. Is this better? Can everyone hear me now? Yes. Everyone at the back? Can you hear me? Good, no problems? Okay, super. Let me go. Go for it. Okay. So, when I was preparing for this talk, I kept wondering what am I going to say I work in sport. I spent 20 years in sport. I'm a sports scientist and I'm a psychologist. Study performance of the human body, gut health, muscle physiology. So I look at how to hack and optimize the body. Okay. And it's a very fascinating field. Okay. My work in psychology is a little more interesting actually. The work in psychology is I study childhood trauma, childhood triggers. What were the triggers in the first 6 years of our life that are acting up and playing up now? So that's what I do. And we all have it. Okay. And if I give you an example of what it is in childhood trauma, when you were a child, you did something, maybe you drew a picture, and you went and you showed it to somebody in class, and they started laughing. Okay. And you didn't realize anything, and you felt embarrassed. Okay. And that memory got imprinted into your brain. So every time you need to present something to the world, your brain fires that thought of that emotion, and your brain doesn't want you to feel like that again, because your brain's only job is to protect you. It's not interested in happiness. It's not interested in anything else. It wants to protect you. So that's why it fires that cortex of the brain, and you don't do anything. So you're scared to give the best version of yourself out because it's protecting that. So we go in, and I tap into the theta brainwave, and I rewrite that program. So today maybe I'll teach you how to rewrite some of the programs in your brain. Now, for someone who's spent 20 years working with professional sports, people ask me, what is the things that you've learned? And I won't go into too much detail about that, but I'll tell you something really interesting. I'll give you probably 3 points. Right? Of 20 years of learning, I'll try to summarize them into 3 points. Okay. How many of us work full-time jobs? Okay, beautiful. Okay. So, in the world of sport, from the day I started working till right at the end, every single day, I wake up and I follow my athlete around. I watch him eat, sleep, practice, recover, everything under the sun. Okay? And I have one goal. My goal is to optimize his performance. That's it. Okay? And at the end of the day, I go and tell him what he did right and what he did wrong. And the very next day, we get to go back and we get to optimize or make better what we did right, and we get to correct what we did wrong. And I find it extremely fascinating because it's the only profession on earth where someone follows someone else, telling them what they did right and what they did wrong so that you can get better. Now, I ask this question at all my workshops. If you had someone follow you around every single day and tell you what you did right and what you did wrong, and you could go and get 7 hours of beautiful sleep, wake up glowing, and go back the next day and correct what you did wrong and try to optimize what you did right, how many of you think you'd be in this room today? Yeah, that's about the right answer. You know? Because we are sub-optimizing. We're not performing well. We're not performing well because the brain's job is to protect you. And it protects you by remembering all those things. So we've hardwired ourselves to not receive criticism. But the paradox of life is we grow through our pain, isn't it? It's only through pain that we grow. But the brain has hardwired you to not want to feel embarrassment, not want to feel pain, be completely closed to criticism. That is the problem. So that was one of the first amazing lessons that I learned. The second lesson I learned is that I've read more than 100 books, I think, on the importance of learning from failure. Every single person tells you that. Learn from your failure, learn from your failure. The thing with failure is it puts you in such a dark place, you have no option to learn from it. Okay? You have no option. But what no one tells you is that when you fail and you go into a dark place and you think about it, okay, the only thing you're thinking about is what you did wrong. Correct? Because you failed. So you think, what? And you ask yourself that question, what did I do wrong? What did I wrong? Right? Or what could I have done better? But you never ask yourself, what did I do right? Because even in that failure, there was a certain percentage of stuff that you did right. But your brain doesn't remember that. And you don't force yourself to remember that. So in the world of sport, what I've done with my athletes for 20 years is I force them to learn from their success. Every time we win, every time we do something great, we go back and we reprogram that into our brain. Because that is your blueprint for success. You see, life gives you lots of clues. Success leaves a lot of clues. But most of us are too busy enjoying it that we don't look for those clues. So as a result, we don't have any idea how to replicate it. That's the problem. So lesson number 2. after 20 years of sport, learn from your successes. And the third lesson, I call it PlayStation mode. So some of you who have kids or have played games of yourself, you'll know that if you're playing PlayStation or Wii or whatever these games are today, there's a reset button. Okay? So if you're playing golf, or if you're playing Mario Brothers is actually one of the only games I remember. It's about 25 years old. Yeah. Right. So every time you die, you can hit reset and you're back to where you were and you can try again. Okay? But the problem in life is there is no reset. When you make a mistake, there's a penalty for failure. Correct? When we make mistakes, there's a penalty for failure. And the problem is, we do not bring a penalty for failure into our life. So we never master our mistakes. In the world of sport, I do not let a single mistake go unpunished. Never. Because only when the brain realizes that there's a penalty for failure, does it learn to overcome and work through that and learn and grow from it. So I call it PlayStation mode. So when my cricketers, for example, are in the nets and they're practicing, every time they step over the line and they bowl a no ball, I charge them $100, $7,500 rupees, every single time. I have a kid who's normally no more than 14 years old. He has one instruction. No matter who comes and talks to you, you do not listen to them. You do not. Your job is every time someone crosses that line, you put a tick next to that name. At the end of the practice, that is sent to the accounts department, that money comes out. You don't even have a choice. It's not coming in your salary. Okay. And then when you look at it and you said, my mistakes have cost me 1.5 lakhs. My mistakes have cost me 75,000 rupees. Then you'll come back and you'll think twice about it. So bring a penalty to failure into everything you do. Because that way, you truly optimize your performance and you master yourself more than anything else. Now, I've spent my entire life working between psychology and working between physiology. Okay? And people ask me, what do you do and what do you specialize in, what's important? And the truth is, that everything is important. The people you interact with is as important as your body. Your body is as important as your mind. Your mind is as important as the quality of relationships that you have at home and with your teammates. It's all important. Okay? So I speak about balance. My entire philosophy on life is on balance. Body, mind, relationships, and environment. Okay? And I studied balance in all forms of alternate science. I studied structural engineering. I looked at the balance in buildings, the balance in astrology, the balance in everything. Okay? To understand and define this word. And there are two interesting things. One is that there is no word to describe life balance. Because when we look at the definition of balance, it's around a single metric. So if I ask you to balance something, it'll either have to be in kgs, or it'll have to be in meters, or it'll have to be in something like that, and then that's what you will bring into balance. Okay? And if the metric is too different, you won't know what to do. So if I ask you to balance 100 kilometers with 100 kgs, your mind will be completely blown. You'll have no idea how to do it. Okay? So that's the first problem. The first problem is that in our quest to understand balance and to find balance in our life, the definition for which we're trying to adopt is all wrong. Okay? But let's leave that for a side. If you look at the definition of balance, right? Balance means two things. It's Newton's third law. Equal and opposite reactions. Okay? Equal forces. Right? So if I give you two 1 kg weights, and I give you a nice hard board, and I give you a nail, a single nail, and ask you to balance this, there's a good chance everyone in this room will be able to do that. Very good chance. Right? But if I gave you that same wood, and I gave you two 1 kg weights, and I gave you a small water balloon, and asked you to balance it, there's a good chance no one will be able to do that. And the reason why is because the integrity of the central point is not perfect. And in our life, that central point is representative of us. You are that central point. Your integrity is critical to how you bring your life into balance. So I'm going to spend the next 20 or 30 minutes, okay, teaching you how to define yourself. I'm going to teach you how to find yourself. I'm going to teach you things that you probably didn't understand about yourself. Because when you understand yourself, when you bring yourself, the deeper you can go in understanding who you are, right, the sooner you'll be able to bring your life into balance. And if you don't do this, if you don't define yourself, then all these problems that you have, right? The need to buy stuff, the need to look good, the need to experiment, all of these things that you think, all of these problems is filling a void in you, right? And nothing, there's no amount of stuff on this planet that can fill a void, except you. Okay. And the problem is, how does this manifest in our life? It manifests in the form of relationships, because we have a void, and you think that someone's going to fill that. So you think, okay, you know what? If I get a rich husband, or if I get a good-looking husband, I'll feel better. And you will for a month or 2 months. And then 6 months later, you get bored, and he's gone. Because you've not addressed that void. And it's not their responsibility to fill that void. So understanding yourself is the essence of filling every single void in yourself. And that's what we're going to do. Okay. So few of you have not heard me before, so I generally do a few exercises. Okay. And let's start. We'll do about 2 or 3 exercises. If you don't have a piece of paper and a pencil, okay, you can open your phone and open the notes section on your phone. I'm going to ask you a few very simple questions. Okay? You can just write down the answers and we'll reflect on them. Okay, you got it. So the first question, for those who've attended a talk of mine who've heard this before, okay, you'll probably know what to write, but everyone else, I want you to list down, the first question I always start with, is list down 3 things that you absolutely love. It could be people, it could be places, it could be things. 3 things that you absolutely love. Okay, people, places, things, whatever you want to, write them out, 3. Sorry? The question is write down the top 3 things that you love. People, places, things. Okay, I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, are we good? All right. The question is, write down 3 things that you love. People, places, things, whatever you want to. Whatever the word love comes first to with yourself, just write it down. Okay, beautiful. I'm sure we've got it. So my question, look at those answers. How many of you at number 3 have written your own name down? 1, 2, 3. At number 3, how many of you have written your own name? How many of you have written your own name down at number 2? Good. How many of you have written your own name down at number 1? Good. Good. She's attended a few of my talks, so she's excluded. She cheated. It's fine. So the reason I do this exercise is because the fundamental problem that we all have, and it's quite clear that it's and apparent that it's in this room, is that you do not see yourself as an important part of your own life. Okay? And that is the first thing we need to change. That is the first thing all of us need to change. You need to see yourself as an important and vital part of your own life. That is when you will make a change to improve your life. Okay? That's the first thing. So no matter what you do, you've got to get your name onto that list. And even if you get it at 10, it doesn't matter. And then through time, we work our way and get it all the way up. And people ask me, isn't that being selfish? That's the furthest thing from being selfish. You know? I tell a story of a friend of mine, 68 years old, got diagnosed with lung cancer. Right? This was about 2 years ago. And I go to the hospital and I see him, and the room is filled with his 2 daughters. One had come from California, one lives in Mumbai. His 4 grandchildren are there, both his son-in-laws, his wife, everyone's in there, sitting in the waiting room. He'd been in hospital for 2 weeks. When I go and see him, he's terribly sad. And I could understand. I thought it was his diagnosis. And he said, no, I'm not sad that I got diagnosed with cancer. I've been smoking for 30 years. And in 30 years, not a single one of these people have given me a cigarette. So my question is, what have they done wrong in their life that they need to put their life on hold now? You know, and that was such a mind-blowing event for me because, okay, sorry, I was just getting disturbed. It was such a mind-blowing event for me because right there and then, I realized that, we say we love people. And if you truly love someone, you wouldn't neglect your body, you wouldn't neglect your mind. Nature has given us a beautiful example. Have you ever seen a tree with a thin trunk giving branches spreading out wide? It doesn't exist, you'll never find it anywhere. The more shade it gives is directly proportional to how much it nourishes itself. Look, a healthy cow can only feed its young. The cow is thin, how can it feed anyone? The more you nourish yourself, the more you take care of yourself, the more equipped you are to give to every relationship and every single person within you. Now, there's an exercise, and this is a very big exercise, but I'm going to talk. Has anyone ever done what's called a core values exercise? Anyone? Core values? Yeah? Anyone even knows what core values is? No? Okay, I'm going to give you an example of it. Okay, a core values exercise, you're going to have to Google this. There are about 200 words that you can pick and choose from. But a core values exercise is about understanding who you truly are as a person. Okay, I'll give you my example. Very simple. I have 5 core values. The first is integrity. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Core value number 1. Core value number 2 for me is respect. Respect for myself governs my morals. Respect for others governs my manners. Okay. Core value number 3 is love. I only do what I love. Nothing else. If I don't love it, you will not find me do it. Core value number 4 is teamwork. I believe in collaboration and co-elevation. Work with people and rise together. Core value number 5 is service. Nothing I do, not a single thing I do, from the time I step out of my house, right, does not benefit another person. Everything I do needs to benefit one other person beyond myself. That is a core value. And when you understand yourself and you understand your core values, life becomes really beautiful. It becomes really beautiful to understand the type of person you're going to welcome into your life, the type of environment that you're going to go into, the type of job you're going to accept, everything. Everything falls in line. Why? Because you just ask yourself, does it fit in alignment with who I am? You will never be upset a day in your life again. You will never regret another decision in your life, because everything you do is in alignment with who you are. And that is, every time I say this, I get goosebumps, because isn't that the most beautiful, most powerful realization there could ever be? Imagine if we lived in a world where everything that you accepted into your energy was in alignment with your true being. Wouldn't that be beautiful? That's it, yeah, I know. Sometimes when I say it, even my eyes start watering, because it's it can happen. So core value exercise. Go back, download these, read them, study them, find your core values. You could have 2, you could have 3, you could have 10, whatever it is. Embody them. Okay? They could change, but they don't change too much. 1 may change, 2 may change, you may use a different word. Right? But the more you find it, the better it is. Okay? Then I'm going to give you another exercise. Okay? I want you to, on that piece of paper, I want you to write down the names of the 5 people closest to you. Right? Good. Everyone got it? Okay, super. Okay. Now look at that list in front of you, right? And remove the names of all your family members. Most of us don't even have anyone else on that list, isn't it?
No, I do.
You do? Some people do. Some people do. Good, good, good. Then ask yourself a question. Okay. Of those names that are left, the reason I ask you to remove the family members is because it's quite natural to want to give more in the relationship with a family person. It's quite natural. We want to give. So I'm accounting for that. look at the other names and ask yourself, how many of those names on that list is your source of nourishment, love, and rejuvenation? Look at that list. This is a very, very pivotal tipping point in your life. Because when you realize that your inner core circle is not nourishing you enough, right? It is a source of your sadness, your depression, your loneliness. Because why? You're only giving. You can't only give. Everything that gives only will be depleted. Isn't it? Something gives, you have to receive. And it's okay to receive. It's okay to ask. This is the problem. The problem is we come from a culture where we think asking is a problem. Asking isn't a problem. You know, it's okay. So go back and look. Look at who can I bring into my circle? How can I cultivate a relationship with someone who will rejuvenate me? Because the value of that relationship and the strength of that relationship is directly proportional to how much you can give to everyone else. Too many of us are completely depleted every single day because we're only giving. That is a problem. It's a very, very big problem. We do maybe one more exercise and then I'll go into, sure.
People are looking for, maybe they are also looking for further visible life.
Totally, totally. And that's a very good point. Very, very good point. You know, the quality of a relationship is directly proportional to how much you give and how much you receive. It's directly proportional to the vibrational energy that you resonate. Nobody wants to spend time with someone who's sad and someone who's depressed and someone. And the energy level at which you vibrate is in your hands. It is. And that's quantum physics. Quantum physics is you will attract the vibrational energy around which you resonate. And I was going to come to that. I was going to give you a few realizations and talk to them about it. But it's a very good question. The question is, you know, how is it? Maybe they're looking for someone else. Why? And that's the question you should ask yourself. Why should they pick me?
Yeah.
Why? I can't answer that. You got to answer that. Isn't it?
In Delhi, they look for status and
Then that's the, in Delhi, then that's the wrong, come to Bombay. Come to Bombay or come to South Africa or wherever go. Or follow me. I keep telling people, if you spend enough time with me, I will raise your vibrational energy. I keep telling this to people. You know, I tell people, if you spend enough time with me, you'll never be sad a day in your life.
I'm not sad,
Yeah.
I'm just commenting my...
Yeah, but that's what I say, because why? I'm very conscious of the vibrational energy that I'm giving to people in there. So when you ask yourself, why should that person want to have me in their life? Then you'll start looking deeper, you'll understand, what am I giving? And that's actually an interesting exercise that I do. So on your phones, write down one relationship. You can pick anyone. It could be you with your child, you with your husband, you with your partner. Just write it. It's so me and write down that person's name. Okay. Right, the relationship. Pick a relationship right, that you want, anyone. So it's you plus who? It's your child, it's your husband, whoever. Just write down the name of that person. Okay. And then I'm going to give you 4 questions. And you're going to go back and you're going to answer these 4 questions. Okay, beautiful. So, question number 1 is, what am I giving to that relationship? Go back, go down and write it down. What am I giving to that relationship? List down every single thing that you feel you give that relationship. Question number 2, what am I receiving from that relationship? Question number 3, what extra can I give to that relationship? And question number 4, what's something extra that I could receive from that relationship? So when you take every single relationship in your life, and you ask these 4 questions, you're able to define it. You're able to define what is the status of that relationship right now. You're also able to define how can I raise the quality of that relationship. How can I manifest that perfect relationship? In whatever shape and form. You also understand, how can I ask for more? What are my boundaries? How do I define that? The only way you'll know this is when you write it down. I always tell people that if you do not take the time to write something down, you will not make the time to manifest it. Isn't it? Write it down. So these are a few exercises, and my list of exercises can go on and on and on and on. But I want to spend a little bit of time on some very, very important realizations, okay, that I've stumbled upon. The first realization, and this I think is important. The first realization is you cannot, let me take it one step back before we even get there. Okay, open your phones again. Last question, last exercise. Okay, how many of us in the room, hands up, want to heal our body, heal our relationships, heal our mind? We want to improve something. Hands up. Beautiful. Okay, so it's applicable to everyone. Good. Now I'm going to ask you 4 questions, which are yes and no. Write it down. Write down the yes or the no. Question number 1. Am I prepared to change the food I eat to achieve that goal? Whatever that goal is in your mind. Question number 2. Question number 1 is, am I prepared to change the food I eat to achieve that goal? Yeah, whilst the answer is yes or no, you do need time to think about it. Question number 2. Am I prepared to change my friends to achieve that goal? My friends. Question number 3. Am I prepared to change the way I think to achieve that goal? Question number 4. Am I prepared to change where I live or where I work to achieve that goal? Okay, beautiful. Now what you have am I prepared to change where I live or where I work to achieve that goal?
The last one's kind of big because live and work is
In your environment. These 4 questions are designed around the concept of balance. Body, mind, relationships, and environment. And the reason I say this is because whatever your problem you have, from wanting more money to wanting a happy relationship to wanting to heal yourself from probably an illness, everything will require you to change something in one of these 4 verticals, right? If not all, one of them, right? And the answers in their page, right, are directly correlated to your capacity to change. Your ability to change is directly there. If you're saying that I'm not prepared to change anything, then you're stuck in your situation. If you are saying, yes, I'm prepared to change all of these things, then you can manifest that perfect, that most beautiful version of yourself, that most beautiful reality that you want to bring into your life. You can, but it requires change. Right? And the question is always, and that's the tough part, the tough part is, how much am I prepared to change to get what I want? Listen, everything that you dream of is within reach if we have the power to understand that it is in our reach and all we need to do is change something. So, the first realization, I'm going to give you 10 realizations that I have, and these are powerful. The first realization, you cannot change that which you do not understand. Okay? You cannot change that which you do not understand. Okay? What you do not understand is yourself. The more you understand yourself, the more you have a capacity to change. Okay? Very important. The deeper you go within yourself, okay? The deeper your understanding of yourself, right? The more you can realize that, and the more you have the capacity to change. You can bring every single thing you want into your life through that simple understanding. Okay. Realization number 2. You cannot heal in the same environment that made you sick. Okay. Realization number 2. You cannot heal in the same environment that made you sick. Okay. I see it so many times, people, especially when you're in love, isn't it? And the relationship didn't work out. And that person broke your heart, and then you're like, oh, but we're still great friends. No, you're not. Someone's hurting. You know, right? If you're getting high blood pressure and you got a heart attack because of your job, you cannot get a double bypass and go back to the same job and think you're okay. You cannot. Realize this. Understand this. You know, you cannot heal yourself in the same environment that made you sick. Okay. Realization number 3. Authenticity is not a choice. You don't have a choice. It's who you are. You can't choose about, yes, I'm authentic, or no, I'm not authentic. You have to be authentic. It's the only choice you have. Right? Be who you are. Understand who you are. Right? Accept who you are. Right? And when you accept and resonate who you are, then you truly embody who you are and you truly grow. That's when you give the best version of yourself to the world, when you're authentic. But that comes from point number 1, truly understanding who you are. When you understand who you are, and you can vibrate at that frequency, then you can be authentic. But be who you are. Don't worry about what society says. Don't worry about anything else. Resonate. Give that best version of yourself out. Right? No one understands what is right and what is wrong. Everyone in life is hacking it. Trust me. Right? Everyone is hacking it. No one's got the formula. Nothing's happening. You're not going to miss out on anything. No. Just be yourself. If at worst, few people stop talking to you, at best, you'll sleep well. You know, you'll be very, very happy. Okay. Realization number 4 is you do not need to apologize for who you are. Okay. Understand who you are. And you don't need to apologize for the way you dress, the way you look, the person you are. You don't. You know? I always give the example of a radio station that operates at a certain frequency. Okay? If it's playing English music and you want to listen to something Hindi, you've got to tune out. You've got to go and find someone else, isn't it? It's not going to change its frequency for you. It operates at the same frequency. Same thing. Operate at your frequency. Find your frequency. Right? And everybody who loves that frequency will come to you. Right? The problem is we're trying to change our frequency. And in trying to change our frequency, we're constantly apologizing to the people who don't want to listen to that. And you're losing yourself in the process. Okay. Stop apologizing. No, it doesn't make you arrogant. It makes you respect yourself. It makes you value yourself. It raises your self-esteem. It raises your self-confidence. Arrogance is the manner in which you voice it. You know, right? If you're rude and the manner in which you voice it, that will come across as arrogance, right? But if you're being authentic to yourself and you're being grounded, you're being humble, and you're not hurting anyone, then you're just being true to who you are. And that's the most important thing. It may make you selective, but how many friends do you want? Yeah. So who said that? Yeah. So how many people can you? I have 5 friends. I have 5 million acquaintances, but I have 5 friends. And to be honest, I'm struggling to do justice to those 5 as well. I am struggling. Every week I try to meet them and give them a cup of coffee or phone them. I'm struggling. I'm like, I don't have the time for another one. You know? So if that filtering process, if being authentic to who you are and giving off this most beautiful version of yourself narrows it down to the 3 or 4 people who truly love you, that is the best blessing you could get. Amazing. Okay. It will save you a lot of time. It'll save you a lot. Realization number 5. You have to see yourself as a co-creator of the destiny that you want. Okay. You have to see yourself as a co-creator. You're going to make that best version of yourself. You're going to manifest your realization. Okay. And when you accept that you're a co-creator, that you're going to select the environment and select the people and select the food and select everything, right? Select the husband, select whatever you want to. When you see that I'm going to accept all of this and I'm going to create all of this, then everything falls in place. This is a big problem because most of us seem to think it's very, very closely linked to the victim mentality. Victim mentality is where we think things are happening to us. So you think, this person did this to me, that person did that to me. No one's done anything to you. Okay. And when you voice it in a way where you put yourself at the center of that problem, then you give yourself the power to change. Victims, when you say something happened to you, okay, it means that you do not have the power to change that situation. But when you say that this happened because of something I did or I did not do, you give yourself the power to change. That's co-creation. Co-creation, your reality, is about changing your mindset, is about giving yourself the power to change a situation. Okay. They've given me a warning of time. I tend to speak a lot. Okay. Realization, I don't know, I lost count, number 6. You have to make familiar with the things that you want. You have to make it familiar. The brain is hardwired to go towards that which is familiar. You have to you have to get comfortable with what is unfamiliar to you. And we see this the most in our relationships, isn't it? How many of us here in the room have got friends who have probably been in an unhappy relationship, and after complaining for a long time have managed to get themselves out of it, and then 6 months later they're in another unhappy relationship? I'm sure you're being modest with the hands going up. Right? It's true, because what's happening is because the brain is familiar with that. It knows that type of behavior. It knows disrespect. It knows that someone is going to treat me in this way. So it navigates to what is familiar. Instead of getting into a relationship and trying to change that person, why don't you look for what you want? Huh? Yes, that's what they say, isn't it? But the truth is, okay, how many of us have ever worn contact lenses? Contact lenses? Amazing, good. So if you've worn contact lenses, the first time the optician gave it to you, you used to go and stand in front, I used to with them as well, I used to go and stand in front of the mirror, and it used to take you like 5 minutes to just get it in, isn't it? And 6 months later, you're in the movies and it pops out and it's pitch black and you're like, oh, it's popped, there's a day on my jeans, yeah, done. Correct? What did you do? You made something that was unfamiliar familiar. When you make what you want in your life familiar, it will come to you. If you want respect, if you want love, if you want someone to behave, make that familiar. I had this problem. I have this problem actually with the first time when people came to me and they asked me, how much do you charge? And I used to I used to be scared to say how much you charge, because it was so unfamiliar to me. And I had to make it familiar. I had to make it familiar that, I charge this much. And the more I said it, and the more I said it, and the more I said it, it became familiar. I made what was unfamiliar familiar. And you can do that with every single thing in your life. Realization number 7. You are enough. You have to realize this. You have to accept this. That you're complete the way you are as it is. Right? Accept yourself for who you are. I was telling somebody today that the first step to self-love is accepting everything that happened in your life, right, as a blessing or being grateful to a contributing factor to where you are today. If you block out the bad and say, I don't want to think about it, right, you can never love yourself because that bad thing made you who you are. So the first step to self-love is accept all the experiences in your life and be grateful for them because they're making you who you are. And when you accept that and you accept who you are, then you realize you are enough. When you say to yourself, you are enough, then there's no more void to fill. That's the beauty of it. And I'm getting a signal for time. So I'll explain a beautiful realization, right? That quantum physics states that we resonate at a very high frequency. And you will attract things at the frequency at which you resonate. Okay, remember that. So, if we raise our vibrational frequency, okay, we will attract things at that frequency. Okay. Now, I talk a lot about manifesting your reality. But here's something that people do not tell you. Okay. You are a single vibration in an ocean of vibrations. Do you accept that? Correct. So if you're a single vibration in an ocean of vibrations, you are part and parcel of that vibration, correct? Right. The planets, just like your brain, is only interested in one thing. What is that one thing? Survival. Survival. The planets, the universe, is only interested in one thing, survival. Your brain is only interested in you surviving. So what is the one thing that no one tells you? The one thing no one tells you is that if you want to manifest something in your life, the universe will give it to you, provided it is in alignment with the universe. Okay? And what does that mean? That means that whatever you're trying to manifest needs to help the universe. It needs to, if your manifestation is, I want to attract something because I want to do good with it, it will come to you. If your manifestation is, I want to heal from an illness because I want to go out there and share the story of how others can heal from that illness, you will heal. Because it's in alignment with the universe getting stronger. But if you start manifesting things only within yourself and only about yourself, it's never going to come. Because it's going counterclockwise to what the universe wants. If we are a part and parcel of a bigger vibrational energy, we have no other option but to vibrate with the same frequency as that. So change, and that's a mindset shift. It's a mindset shift of how you talk about a realization, about a manifestation that's in alignment with what the universe wants. Like? Yeah.
So many manifestations which are just materialistic, like owning a big house or buying a certain car.
Yeah.
Where also they say that manifest that to get it. But how is that in alignment with the universe?
It's not. It's not. Which is why after you try to get these things, you will still be unhappy. What is the goal of life? The goal of life is to find happiness, to find joy, to find peace. Right? The goal of life is not to get a mansion on Malibu Hills. You can get it, but then you won't be happy. Right? And then after that, what are you going to do? You know? You can try to manifest, but it's temporary. So the last realization I'm going to give you is, this is probably something really beautiful. I want you to start becoming acutely aware of the emotions you feel. And I'm going to tell you why. When you're feeling an emotion, right, stop, pause, ask yourself, what am I feeling? Right. Understand that emotion. Is it happiness? Is it sadness? Is it loneliness? What is that? Understand it in its present moment. Why am I asking you to do that? Because when you understand an emotion in the present moment, there's a realization. The story is still happening. Okay? When you accept and understand an emotion there and then, that story is not ended. It's still happening. And whilst you're in that story, you have the power to change the outcome. That's beautiful, isn't it? You do. You do. Everything you want is there. Pausing is very beautiful, very easy to do. Taking a step back, relaxing. How to pause? How you have the power to change it? Perfect. Good question. So if something is going through you and you're feeling sadness, right, for example, and you pause for a second and you understand that this is sadness that I'm feeling, okay, you will be acutely aware of what sadness is doing to your body. Right? And right at that moment in time, there would have been an incident that brought about that emotion, isn't it? And that incident would have just happened because that would have triggered that emotion off immediately. Okay. Now, whilst you're feeling that emotion there and then, you have the power to change that emotion. Right there and then. How? How you can do it? You can change it by physically changing the outcome. If someone said something, right, you have the power in that moment to pick up the phone and change the conversation. Speak to them and address it. Or you can remain in that emotion, remain in sadness. You see, if you're not aware of the sadness, you'll remain in that state for a prolonged period of time. And then that emotion will keep changing. Sadness will become anger. Anger will put you into solitude. Solitude will put you into depression. It'll keep going. But when you understand it there and then, you can bypass that entire track. You can say, okay, I'm sad because this person said something. And I do this very often. You know, someone will say something to me and I sit back and I think, okay, I'm feeling this way and I don't like it. I pick up the phone and I said, you know what? I don't know if you meant it this way, but this is how I'm feeling and I'm going to say it to you. I'm going to say it to you for two reasons. One is because when I say it to you, I've given myself the power to change the way I'm feeling right now. The second thing is when I say how I'm feeling there and then, I am respecting myself enough to voice the way I feel. And if you don't respect yourself enough to voice the way you feel, how can you expect someone else to respect you? So I do this at least twice a week. Some situation will come up where I pick up the phone and I say, this is what I'm feeling. And even if you can do nothing to change it, at least I've respected myself enough to let you know what you've done to me. It can, whatever works. With time, you'll build the courage to do it yourself. Okay.
If somebody boxes you and it's a reflex action, you just box them back. So where's the time to pause and think what that anger?
Sure. But very true. Very, very true. You know, I come from the world of sport. Okay. And in the world of sport, you have two options. Okay. So you can come to me and you can say, you have a grandchild or a child, son, anyone? Do you have children?
Yeah.
Two? How old?
Grown-up girls.
Grown-up girls. Okay, so assuming your girl was 8 years old and you came to me and said, Shayamal, you're a sports scientist, I want to make her a tennis player. Right? So what can I do? I can automatically compare her to Serena Williams and say, I don't think she can make it. Or I can say, you know what? There's Serena and there's 1,000 other people and we can get her in there. Right? So what you've done by giving me the example of someone boxing you and you reflexing is, you've picked the Serena Williams of situations, which happens once in a while. No. You know? So that's what it is. No, you always have the power to change your emotions. Sometimes you need to speak to someone about it. You speak to them so that you can change the outcome of it because it's not always you. Okay? And sometimes you have the choice of, even if you don't want to speak to them, that is a conscious choice that I accept. What is healing? Healing is accepting that I am not going to let a situation cause me pain any further. That's what healing is. So maybe someone's done something to you and you're acutely aware that this person has said something and I'm sad. Okay, and I have a choice. I can pick up the phone and phone them and tell them how I'm feeling and sort it out. Or I have the choice to not speak to them again, but I'm not going to let that person make me sad ever again. You understand? That is the power you give yourself. That is the power you manifest everything that you want. Okay, and if you choose, you can also make the choice of whether you want to tell them, whether you don't tell them. You know, and you just say, hey, don't. I'm sure Anshuka has done some breathing with you all, but we'll do a nice exercise. If we can we put these lights off though? We don't need lights for this. Okay. I'll just play some music. So everyone just get yourself comfortable, put your phones away. Just all you need to do is listen to me. Okay. Can we put these lights off, please? You know, if you can you put as much light as you possibly can off? I try to create sensory deprivation experiences. is, can we get these lights off? Please? I'm so sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Please put these off, yeah. We don't, there's nothing to record anymore. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of breathing. I'm gonna just help center the body, and then we'll try to just set an intention today. Okay, I've said a lot, I'm sure. There's something, okay, I'll tell it to you after. We've spoken a lot. If anything resonated with you, we'll try to set an intention. But the best way to set an intention is to first bring the body down, center it down. So I'll play a bit of music. Okay, I want you to breathe. Just follow my instructions. Close your eyes and just follow my instructions. All right. Give me 1 second. So. Okay, let's breathe in and out. You can put your hand on your heart. Right. We're going to synchronize our breath with our heart. It's called heart coherence. Okay. Let's go in. 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Out.
2, 3, 4.
it absorb into every cell in your body. Breathe in abundance. Breathe out love. Breathe in joy. Pull it in. Breathe out love. Breathe in bliss. Breathe out love. Breathe in love. Feel it absorb into every cell. Breathe out. In. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. And out. 2, 3, 4. In. Out. In. And out. And in. And in. And out. And in. In. Deep breaths. And out. And in. Fill those lungs. And out. Exhale all the air out of you. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Push everything out. And then just hold your breath. Exhale. And hold. Resist that temptation to breathe, that first temptation. Resist it. You're going to take a deep breath in, fill your lungs with air, look up, keep your eyes closed, keep that air in your lungs. Visualize this light coming out of your third eye. Hold it in, absorb all of that oxygen, absorb all of that love, absorb all of that bliss, all of that abundance, absorb it. Feel it going into every single cell in your body. And just get to our normal cycle of in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out. The body is now at peace, at calm, at stillness. This is a really good and amazing time to set an intention for yourself. So think of that best version of yourself. Think of what you'd like to manifest. What is that message that you would like to leave into the universe? Set that intention. Feel that calmness, feel that stillness. That is who you are. That is what your body knows best. That is what your mind knows best. That peace, that tranquility is the true version of you. It is the best version of you. It's the version at which you would resonate at your highest frequency. This stillness, this calmness is when you're in alignment with everything around you. The love, this feeling. Become familiar with the feeling of peace and tranquility. Become familiar when your breath synchronizes with your heartbeat. When you beat as one. When you align with the higher energy of the universe. This feeling, make it familiar. Let the memory of this feeling be absorbed in every cell in your body. This is who you truly are. This is your space, this is your safe space, and you can always find it. It's with you every minute of the day. This is your guiding light and your partner to anything and everything around you. Center yourself slowly. Deep breaths, and when you are ready, you can slowly come back into the space, into the safe space. You can open your eyes and be with us. Oneness with the universe anytime. It's there for the taking. Ladies, thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Shayamal. Your sessions are always so fantastic and eye-opening and amazing. We're doing a vote of thanks now, and then we have our last by Karishma Bedi. Vice Chair of FICCI, Young FICCI Ladies Association. And then after that, we have a little bit of a short break, and then we break into our last session for the day, which is blending your own beauty milks. I think all of you would have gotten this form to fill out, which is called In My Element. It basically determines which elements, which of the nature's elements, earth, fire, water, and air, which ones are dominant, which ones aren't. And based on that, we'll be working on the skin, how these elements of nature affect skin, and what are the superfoods you can make. And you'll be doing a little DIY with the milks. Now over to Karishma.
Thank you. I think we've all had a very interesting session this morning. There's lots more coming up with Antidote after this. So we're just going to first call Anshuka on stage, please. Is she here? Sorry. Yeah, okay. So we're waiting for her to just wear her shoes and come up. Ah, great. Anshuka, thank you so much for this morning. You pretty much allowed us not just to stretch our bodies, but our breathing and our willpower as well. I'm going to ask Mandira to please come on stage and give you a token of appreciation. Thank you, Anshuka. May I call Shayamal back on stage, please? Thank you so very much for such an absolutely insightful session on change and on teaching us how to function at an optimal level and finding our own frequency. I'm going to ask Ridhima, who's our junior vice chair this year, to please say thank you to you with a token. Louder, ladies. Come on, louder. May I please call Carol and Nadia both from Vitality Hours on stage as well. Gayatri. Please join us on stage. Thank you so much for putting this together for us. We've really enjoyed it, and we look forward to what you have remaining in the rest of the session. Our treasurer, Gayatri. Louder, ladies. Come on, louder. It's yoga this morning. Also, a big thank you to Parinita Sethi of Global Spa Magazine. May I please call you on stage? Mandira, if you could just share a token of appreciation. There's a wellness market set up for all of you at lunch later after we finish with the remaining session, so please enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you.
Everyone look here. Really smile.
Skin-friendly plant milk and a lot of superfoods and foods and vitamins that you can add, and you can have that one drink that you have each day, and it becomes like your daily regimen, and it hopefully fixes all your skin problems. So we're going to be what is a beauty milk? A beauty milk essentially is a plant-based milk, and it's something that you can whip up in seconds. And it is something that is going to kind of add to your regimen, and it's also going to be extremely simple to make. Are people familiar with kind of making plant-based milks? Does anybody do that currently right now at home? Almond milk, soy milk and almond milk. Okay, so we'll just take you through like a few of the milks that you can whip up and which are skin friendly and great for your skin. So A, of course, like you all said, almond milk is great. Almond milk is very high in vitamin E and magnesium, and because it is high in magnesium, it makes for a great post or like a pre-workout drink. However, most of the nut milk, so all seeds, so all the plant-based milks are either got from nuts, seeds, or grains, and these are all nourishing for the skin. And all of them need to be soaked. So there's an ideal soaking time based on which nut or seed that you're using. Almonds need to be soaked for about 8 to 12 hours to kind of make it more bioavailable in your body. If you go with like oat milk, which is high fiber, and it's got a lot of B vitamins, then you need to soak it anywhere between 6 to 8 hours. And if you're doing a sesame milk, which is high in zinc and iron, then you need to soak it anywhere between 5 to 6 hours. You can also do a cashew milk, which has got high oleic, so it's very, very hydrating and nourishing. And
also great for the heart.
Also great for the heart, and I think you need to soak that.
It reduces high triglyceride levels in the body. So cashew milk, either you dilute it with something because it's high fat, but it reduces the triglyceride levels. So it's actually really good for people who have heart issues.
Yeah, contrary to what people. How many hours do you? I think that's 2 hours, Carol?
Yeah,
2.5 hours for cashew milk. Then there's also rice milk, which is kind of getting quite trendy nowadays. And rice again is very high in zinc and fiber, and it's very alkalizing for your body. So if you have acidity-based issues, then rice could be a good nourishing drink to have. And rice needs to be soaked anywhere between 9 to 10 hours. Sunflower is another option. However, it doesn't taste very good on its own, so you can mix it with coconut or with a cashew or a secondary plant milk. And sunflower needs to be soaked anywhere between about 2 to 3 hours. And sunflower is very, very, very high in vitamin E. Now we're going to address the basic aspects, most people have when they're talking about skin. So, there's clarity, and which is what your tables are based on. So there's clarity, there's radiance, there is anti-aging, and there's plumpness and tautness. And all of these elements, when you talk about your skin, in Ayurveda are related to nature elements. So there's fire, there's water, there's earth, and there is air. And okay, so let's talk about clarity first. When we talk about clarity, usually the issues, like people who have an issue with clarity, either it's rosacea, it's acne, it's uneven skin tone, and these are all a sign of vitiated fire element in the body. So the fire element is not in balance. And if we talk about radiance, then radiance can again be issues such as dull skin, patchy skin. That has all to do with the water element kind of being not in the right balance in your body. When it comes to, I want to talk about the plumpness.
The plumpness and tautness is directly related to your earth element. So if your earth element is imbalanced, then the formation of collagen is kind of inhibited in the body. So we want to be able to increase that in the body. Glutathione helps do that. The plumpness table has these capsules with glutathione in them. Glutathione is an antioxidant that helps promote collagen in the skin. I hope everyone knows what collagen is. There's such a big, talk.
I'm sure everybody's heard of glutathione, but you don't know how and when to use it. So there's an interesting way where we kind of tell you where you can use it and what it really does. Of course, everybody knows it.
Between this table and that table, we want that.
I think you stick to the table you are at. You get information about all these things, and then of course you'll be making a plant-based milk based on what you've chosen right now. But you'll know about everything.
So, and finally, we will talk about the air element. So the air element is directly related to your table, which is the aging table. So if your air element is vitiated or imbalanced, you will age. Your bio-aging will be a lot quicker. All the wrinkles, fine lines, saggy skin, all of that are related to your cell regeneration. So the idea is that you need a lot of antioxidants that help you regenerate cells, and not just regenerate, but preserve the DNA and preserve them from cell damage, prevent them from cell damage. Right? So you guys have moringa leaf extract. I think a lot of you must have heard about moringa. It's the drumstick tree. Has anyone heard of it? Yeah, moringa is endemic to India and Africa. So we get it fairly easily in India. There's moringa, there's matcha tea, which is green tea. So Japanese green tea.
Anybody know the difference between matcha and regular, usual green tea?
So then we're going to go on to that table right there. I think those guys are feeling ignored. That's blue spirulina and lavender and beet juice. And that's essentially for clarity, so for the fire element. Beet juice, beet juice. It has niacin and a lot of B vitamins. It helps cellular damage, and it helps to make the skin like clear out all like redness, rosacea, acne, etc. Blue spirulina oxygenates the blood cells, the white blood cells and the red blood cells. So, and lavender is calming. So the water element is essentially to do, it regulates the body temperature and it regulates the blood flow, blood circulation. So you need to keep your cells oxygenated for you to look younger, feel more energetic, and for your skin to not feel and look distressed, even if you are distressed. But so that is the blue table there, the water element table. And finally the table there, you have turmeric. Everyone knows about turmeric, but you don't just have turmeric, you have nanocurcumin. Nanocurcumin is the active compound in turmeric that makes it so special.
That's the yellow part of the turmeric. So that's what gives it all the like the superpowers that turmeric has. So it's just so much more potent than turmeric. And to have this much of nanocurcumin, you'd have to eat this much of turmeric, which is not possible, which nobody does. So this just gives you like really kind of potent strength.
And you have chamomile. Chamomile is also great to nourish and moisturize the skin. It also helps regulate the fire element, because chamomile is very calming and soothing for the mind. And in Ayurveda, in alternative medicine, your body is never looked at simply as hands, feet, nose, face as your body. Your mental equilibrium is everything to do with what your body radiates. So in order to have nice skin, you need to have nice thoughts. And those are the kind of things like the adaptogens that we have here, like ashwagandha on your table, chamomile on your table. On this table, we have rose. So these are the things that are going to help you calm the mind, right? So that's used as a topping. What else do you have there? We have raw honey. Raw honey is
and does everybody know what adaptogens are? Because there's also a word that's thrown around a lot. A lot of people don't understand it. So adaptogens are again herbs that you can use to kind of control stress, and they help you stress manage. And once your stress is managed, as you know, it's related to skin, it's related to all sorts of bodily performances. So that's what adaptogens are for.
So now we're going to just begin. Each of you will have a little form in front of you, right? So you have to you open the base, the almond milk, take a glass, pour it into your glass. Oh, sorry. No, we're going to have to shake it a little bit. Yeah, pour it into your glass. Open enough spoons of our skin cleanse. So the quantity, your superfood is essentially on this table is spirulina. You put it in.
Yeah. Okay, but
After that, you go to the superfood on your table, not the herb. So the superfood on your table.
I think this is you have to take the
What is that? Chamomile.
Okay, so on your table,